And of course, I expect to have Lockett Sebastian shortly. I think I can hear his voice in the precincts of the area. So very shortly, he should be here. So today, of course, is Thursday, the 6th of July, 2023. And what a day. In fact, we've been having a lot of cricket, a plethora of cricket matches, Test cricket. Test cricket will be coming to Dominica on the 12th of July. India should be here shortly and take on the West Indies in a test match at Windsor Park, beginning on the 12th. That's next week, Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 10 in the morning. So that should be starting time for the test match. India, of course, one of the more powerful international test teams coming to Dominica. Not for the first time we'll have an Indian test team here gracing our shores, but we have always been a very powerful team, and we expect that there should be a great test match at Windsor Park. More details about that as we go along. Of course, the Ashes, and what a very competitive Ashes we've been having. They were in the third test match, Australia at 2 up and 3 to go. And today was a very, very entertainingly captivating, enthralling day's cricket. And I can tell you at the end of the day, I can't tell you which team is on top. Australia, in fact, won 2 relatively narrow victories in the first test match by some 2 wickets. And the second test match at Lord's, they won by 43 runs. Not very sizable margins at all. And today, of course, one can say the match is evenly poised. And today will be remembered for one of the glorious innings by an Australian batsman called Mitchell Marsh. Has not played Test cricket for nearly 4 years. His place in a team has been taken by Cameron Green for the last 3 years, and Mitchell Green has been consigned to playing more one-day and T20 matches. But today, what an innings. In fact, it is the fastest innings, 118 from 118 balls, the fastest innings since 1902, when Victor Trumper, that's a long time ago, 1902, scored at a better than a run a ball. So Mitchell Marsh set the records alight today here at the Leeds, playing at Leeds Heavenly. Great knock, about 15 fours and 3 sixes. It was an innings of imperious strokes, hooks, pulls, cuts, and power. Well, bludgeoning that baller. And had it not been for Mitchell Marsh, Australia would have been in tatters because nobody else seemed to have been able to get even a semblance of a good score. The likes of Kawaja and Warner, who again was victim to Broad. It's deja vu all the time. Once Warner comes in and Broad comes into the bowl, you expect a wicket any time. But we'll go into more detail on the display. And of course, as I told you, you have the Ashes series being played by the women, English and Australian women. But the format is different. They play only one-off test match, which Australia won. And I think they have a series of 50-over matches and T20 matches that is going on. And of course, the West Indies women also have engaged Ireland, which is like a pretty ordinary team to me, an Irish team, Irish women that is, playing in the Caribbean now as we speak in St. Lucia. Lots and lots of cricket, and I will tell you the test match scheduled for Dominica next Wednesday at Windsor Park. So we don't know whether the team has been announced yet. By now the team should be announced. We don't know yet. And to me, the entire thing seems to be low-keyed to me, the test match. I don't know why, but we shall see what happens. Of course, there's Wimbledon, and the mecca of tennis, the home of tennis, the cathedral of tennis, Wimbledon were dressed in white, and they have all this tradition and history. And what a place to register if you can win a Grand Slam at Wimbledon. And of course, we have Novak Djokovic looking for his 24th Grand Slam, and he's won 2 matches so far at Wimbledon. And when I left my home, Murray, the old veteran, was given Tsitsipas, who's ranked number 5 in the world. And Murray, who was making a comeback after hip injuries. I think he had a hip implant or whatever they call it, and he's made himself all over again and really defying the odds. And in fact, having Tsitsipas in some problems in the 3rd set. So it shows you what determination can do. Murray having a good match there at Wimbledon. We look at more matches at Wimbledon, and I could tell you that the Iga Swiatek, who is the number 1 women's tennis player, she has got through with her first 2 matches. But we will go into more detail there. And also, of course, who can forget that today we had the climax, not the climax really, but the final determination of which other team would partner Sri Lanka in the top 2 teams in the qualifiers to go to India in October for the World Cup. And there was a fantastic match today, Scotland up against the Netherlands. And in the end, the Netherlands prevailed. So congratulations to the Netherlands. They are on their way to India for the World Cup. Tremendous cricket played there by the guys from the Dutch country, and they really shocked most of the cricket world with this when they scored 374. Imagine that against a full member team like the West Indies. They scored 374, tied the match, went to a super over, and a guy called Logan Van Beek, I think we'll get his name for you, Logan Van Beek, scored 30 in the super over, 3 sixes and I think 3 fours, and the Netherlands were on their way to the big prize of making the team, the membership, if you like, for the World Cup. So we'll look into that in detail as well. And of course, as you know by now, West Indies, who were the champions of 1975 and 1979 and finalists in 1983, the first 3 World Cups, full member team West Indies, one of the greatest teams of all time, but today declining to the point where they cannot or could not make it to qualify for a World Cup. So it's a very disgraceful moment for the West Indies. I'm joined by Lockhart Sebastian, looking hale and hearty. And Lockhart, I guess by now you should know the West Indies team for the first test, because you have a way of getting things before things come out.
Well, good night. All I can tell you, good night to Lambi and all the listeners, Ozzy. The Indians are arriving tomorrow. I can tell you that for sure.
They are arriving.
They will be in Portsmouth in the Intercontinental, I think that's how they call it now.
Yeah.
And the West Indies are coming on Sunday afternoon. That I know for sure. The team should be, by tomorrow we should know the team.
But you don't know the 13 or 12
Not
yet.
They haven't
announced that.
Yet, but they will be here on Sunday afternoon, the West Indies team. And Intercontinental is a long way, as I said.
It's a long drive.
I hope the Indians know that. In fact, there's a friend of mine, I'm sure you know, Peter Matthews. Remember that guy always everywhere in West Indies?
Yes.
So
Peter Matthews.
In fact, I have to organize a friend to pick him up. He has said to me he's going at Fortune. The next thing today, he calls me today, tell me, no, he has to go to Boston. He doesn't like that. But also, I see you're touching.
Yeah, I see you have.
I brought you some lovely mangoes, and he said to you from Erasmus Laura.
From Erasmus Laura.
Tell me to say hi to you.
Yes, he's a good friend. Thank you, Erasmus.
He said he'd never missed it.
I appreciate it very much, yes.
Now, he gave me a story, Ozzy, and you are a lawyer, a magistrate, and it brings me that we have spoken about already the lack of justice in Dominica. And in fact, I understand why I'm coming here. I got a text from somebody in Texas telling me, is it true that the lawyer is in custody? I don't know that at all. She said that a lawyer might be in custody. I don't know. But Laura gave me a case that has gone for 15 years.
15 years.
1-5. He's finally won his case against a prominent lawyer who is part of the establishment, that's allowed to say. And in other words, what he was telling me, over 100 and something acres of land, and was probably taken from him and even sold once or twice, or
taken from him.
His land, he owned that over 100 acres.
Yeah.
And the judge, now what he said to me, every time they keep postponing because a particular judge will not stall the process.
Yeah.
Now he's finally won his case and he has to get his title. And I'm saying, why should a case somebody take 15 years in Dominica, your magistrate?
Yeah.
To me, that is not justice. It is wrong. And if it is true that a particular lawyer is in custody, it tells me about the lack of justice in Dominica, that certain people, they go after certain people, and the real people who committed all the atrocities
seem to be above the law.
Yes. And one guy told me, Laura told me, I know Laura and I go back a long way, and Laura's a guy, he told me, he's been fighting that
15 years.
15 years.
This is,
and he finally now, the High Court judge, he's won his case, he has to get back his title. The lawyer for the other people, they have to pay the cost. And it's a whole, using local language, boom. And you wonder what kind of justice. You have police selectively picking up certain people, saying they, like Leonard Clinton and Edison James.
Selective justice.
Selective justice. Others can say, disappear people, nothing happened. The police looking one way. You go to court, a magistrate keep postponing your case. Look, I heard a murder case again.
Yes, some murder case.
This week again, people have set free.
Yeah.
Now, how does that happen? In a murder case, people are set free. I mean, this is
I think probably the lack of evidence to produce evidence.
To make it convenient. Yes. Convenient that no evidence at all. No evidence. People deliberately hide the evidence. Now, when that happens, you have to pay.
It's happening too many times.
And the people have to get a whole set of money. These are police officers, obviously they would have been on half pay.
Yes.
So you have to pay them for all the years now, and they have to be reinstated. I mean, so you wonder the kind of lack in Dominica, and it is really painful.
A stay of prosecution, you said?
Yes, something like that. No evidence. Yes, conveniently no evidence. And you know, as Laura told me that he got him sick,
Yes, true.
Yeah, he got him sick, made him lose weight. Everything is a pain going to court.
But that's serious,
15 years his land.
That's frustration of the highest order,
The man told me he got sick.
Yeah.
And no, as he said, no, you can't find them. They're part of the establishment.
Yeah.
Nothing will have the judge decide, no damn case. Let's put it back. And it's going on and on. And he told me it was like a relief, yesterday. When the judge awarded him, he said,
at long last.
At long last.
Question, is he getting back his land?
He has to get back his
now,
title.
He can get the title, but is he getting back the land?
Well, he has to get, well, if you have your title, at least your land, or somebody have to pay you. Somebody will have to pay you if you have your title.
So why all these adjournments for 15 years?
15 years, and he said every time he goes to court, there's some excuse or some foolishness. And I am wondering why in Dominica this is happening all this for certain people, and justice should be for everybody.
I said in matters of Clinton and the guy, 6, 7 years,
nothing happening,
nothing is happening,
and for what nonsense?
Over and over and over.
Nonsense. We have a call.
That's ridiculous.
More than ridiculous. Good night.
Good evening, fellas. How y'all doing?
Very good.
People?
Yes, sir.
The kind of justice you're talking about there, my friend, I think it's deliberate. Did you hear the man tell you he got sick? I think they do that to people, hope they die and don't get justice. It is totally uncalled for to live in any so-called democracy to say that you're going for justice and it take you 15 years. On average, a year, 3 years, something like that, and the case would be over. There was another lawyer, I'm waiting to hear the name. There was another lawyer some while back who some white folks got raped up by trying to start a business somewhere in the south of the island. And they had a story about it that they put out in the media. So I'm not sure. I'm just waiting to hear if it's the same person because they say that one particular one has done it to different people. But guys, I'm listening. I like to hear a little politics with the sport.
All right, thank you.
You know, and Laura told me it was like a weight of his back.
Yeah.
The man tell me, we have another
I think we have another caller. Yes, caller?
Good evening, gentlemen. You know, Cibo Dominica is a special country. No law, no constitution. When you are a magistrate, right, in a court, and you can leave your post and go and drink rum in a cabaret between your lunchtime, what you expect before your lunchtime, what you expect to happen? No law, no constitution. Bye-bye.
How many years you did law as a magistrate?
How many years?
You were a magistrate.
About 14 years. 14 years.
Good night. We have another call.
14.
Good evening, Sports Rap guys.
Yes?
Good
I
evening.
heard a teacher on the radio saying that we will now hear our cricket commentary from CARICOM. So you'll have to look for another thing to discuss, okay?
We'll have a what? Say it again.
Cricket commentary.
And CARICOM will be talking about cricket.
Oh.
Yeah, so you find another topic.
Okay, well, we heard the Prime Minister of Antigua say he was never against Cameron. You heard him say that? Yeah, he said that.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Gaston Brown came publicly.
Okay.
He said he was never against
Cameron.
Yeah, he said that. In fact, he still want what is going to tell them they have no local standby. And when the order, remember the few of the prime ministers were after Cameron, and look at what's happening now. The mess in West Indies cricket. Yeah. But going back to the thing, even you were magistrate, and for no reason, the people they assume or say there's a perception that you don't support them. So bam, we don't want us to
Did not reinstate my contract.
There was no contract again, and law. And
at the time when there was a shortage of magistrates, at that time there was a big shortage, The establishment called for 6. There were only 2 magistrates, the post of magistrate, and 2, So I was covering about 4 jurisdictions, at the time. That was the most. At the time was just unreasonable.
But there was no reason. It was straight politics. The perception they had. Man, Ozil is now one of us, and I'm saying magistracy and the High Court should be independent.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to be controlled by anybody. But it doesn't appear so in Dominica.
But they're not.
Yeah, it doesn't appear so.
Like even judges are really independent.
Oh, no, because remember, the politicians have to appoint them.
And the salaries.
Yeah, exactly. So
and the appointments, you're right.
Yeah. And then you had one judge who was here for what? 12 years, 15 years?
Yes.
One part. That is what Samuel Laura was telling me. That judge, every time that judge goes and his case is settled.
Yeah.
He goes settled. And the man was in the pain.
Yeah, but that's 15 years, you said?
15 years ago. But it ran Laura broke because all his businesses had to be closed down. He got sick, he ended up in the hospital and all.
Yeah.
Going through that kind of thing.
And he had loved his agriculture, I tell you.
Yeah, even now, that's why he gave me the mangoes.
I enjoy the mangoes even more for that.
By the religious selling, because his estate is on a lower scale because of the fact that he was struggling. He couldn't get his title. He couldn't really go on the land. Other people had access to the land. He couldn't go. Other people, and these same people had this lawyer against him in the court.
It's all settled now.
Settled now. The High Court has ruled, and his title must be returned to him. So
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, very happy. I told him that because he always listens. He always listens. And he tells me to say hi to you.
Oh, yeah. When we had our Travelers team, Laurent was a key member
of
our team.
Off breaks. Laurent was off breaks.
Travelers team, he was one of our members, players.
I have a question for you, gentlemen. What Laura experienced and what Cibo has been talking about is not new. You guys are some about the best sports commentators around. And let me ask you a question, Mr. Sebastian. Are you going to be one of the...
Well, as I said to Ozzy...
Ozzy Lewis, and you?
There's a whole set of confusion now, as I said to Ozzy. What I heard originally that the West Indies board were offering the stations.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I contacted the people here, Kimberly, and I told them, well, why don't they bid to get the match? Because last year they said they did well. Kimberly told me they don't think they're taking the cricket. I can say that Cecil Joseph, the manager of BBS, had called me, told me they would like me to be part of the team. Look, I'm hearing now that Heston Charles has the rights and he will be. That I'm here, I don't understand what is happening. That and in fact, I'll tell you, Heston did call me. He called me. So I'm telling about what is going on. DBS, what is really going on? Because the thing about it, if the ground is not full in Dominica, you will not hear you will not see it on TV. So, and if you don't have radio, it's not a problem. And to tell you, the cost of in Dominica, one of the stands could be all like $75 a day. Another one could be 40. So it's going to be expensive for people to really. In fact, up to now, tickets haven't been put on sale, you know. Up to now.
I mean, the whole thing looks low-key to me.
The equipment might get down today to Dominica, but up to now, tickets have been put on sale. Imagine next week Wednesday.
Yes,
next week Wednesday. I mean, so I don't understand what's happening. Lambi, a good question you asked.
To me, the entire thing is just low-key.
Yes.
Low-key.
Yeah. Good night. Good night.
Expectancy. Yes.
Good night.
Yes. Good evening, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, Mr. Mali. Yes.
People listening to you, right? My heart really bleeds for Dominica. No joke. You know what I mean? Because, for example, if the guy had died between that 15 years, his children, everybody lost that, he wouldn't have. And the next thing I thinking of, Steve, for all that loss of revenue, because you say he couldn't get access to his property, he couldn't go on the land. All the revenue he lose. Who's going to pay him for that? I mean, no, man. Dominica need to shake up, man. You know, we don't have to wait when it happened to us first to take it. This thing shouldn't be happening in a little country like Dominica, man. Our justice system supposed to be independent. That's why the checks and balances coming in a democratic system. The justice system should be independent from the executive and the legislature. I don't understand what. I'm listening, Sibo. Good night anyway.
Okay, man. Good. Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean...
See, we have a little quote there. They call it quote. You might have heard it already before. Or people might have heard it. If not, I find it makes some interesting reading, at least say it. A young juvenile, very unruly, a recalcitrant, very rude guy, 12, 13, ends up in a juvenile court before a magistrate, of course. Presiding magistrate, and realize that he has a serious problem, this guy. So the guy appears with his parents, and so he's thinking, what solution can he bring about so that something can, just to solve the problem. So let me see what I have again. Yes. So he asked the parents whether they could consider changing the boy's environment, so that maybe a different environment might change everything around, So they were thinking of having him to go to live with relatives. Uncle, they asked whether he could go to live with Uncle Joe, Auntie Joan, and all that. The guy said, no, I just want to go and live with the West Indies cricket team. So, you're going to live with the West Indies? What do you mean by that? He said, the little boy said, 12-year-old said, because, sir, you're not beating anybody.
So they wouldn't beat me?
They wouldn't beat me. So for that, you want to go and live with them, with the West Indies team.
They have sung, West Indies have sung really well.
Yes, very,
West Indies,
very, yeah.
Well, after we'll come back, let's take this caller. Good night.
Yeah, Sibo, good night.
Yes, sir.
On your entire panel. I heard you said just now that tickets have not gone on sale yet.
Not yet.
I think you could access
online. You can get online, but locally for local people who want to go to the ticket booth, not yet. But online, you could buy tickets online. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
On another note, now I know all the program is not like a political program, but I'm going to make an appeal again. I would like to ask the government, the people of Tables, the people of Benz, when are they going to ask for this PAL rep to tender her resignation, this nominated this embattled PAL rep? Miss, you did something that is unethical. You need to stand down. Charles Sovereign, you need to withdraw that. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
All right, thank you.
Well, that's another issue. It's another story for them to deal with. Yeah. We have another caller. Good night.
If you are listening properly, you hear the one-man government said in Trinidad, technically, he doesn't say we last in everything. anytime you go to a supermarket, maybe in Barbados, Trinidad, you have to demand that things you want from the country. But in Dominica, we were left behind. The man never mentioned when you go to a supermarket in Dominica, you should demand that you want certain produce of Dominica, products of Dominica on the shelves. But he said on the other countries, when you go there, ask for them. Can you believe that? So we last in everything. So the cricket might become last. They put the lights there already. That's about the $2 million plus lights.
No, there's no lights. In fact, there's no poles up yet.
Well, they're hoping there will be no need for lights.
No, but there's no need for lights because the match will be played in the day. And now up to
What times do you need day if you have a heavy cloud cover? You use lights, eh?
Well, in fact,
in England, is places.
In fact, that's part of the regulation that you can use artificial lights.
Artificial lights.
Yeah. But in Dominica's case, there are no artificial lights.
Yeah.
Well, I see that there's some painting up there today, so maybe the painting for you to come and sit down in nice paint up building. Bye-bye.
Hello, I think we have another caller.
Good night. Hello? Hello, good night. We lost that caller.
Yes. Hello. Oh, we do seem to have the
good
caller.
Night.
Hey, Sibo.
Yes. Go ahead.
Good evening, Sibo and Ozzy.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Sibo, what do you think about that run out in Besto? What do you think?
We'll discuss that when you the run out. Well, if you notice, Besto has never said anything.
Only Besto. Well, by the laws of the game is out.
He never said anything himself.
Sibo,
yes.
I was watching the game on my TV. As soon as he moved, I said he's out.
It's out by the laws of the game. Of course, it's out. The ball was not dead.
No cheating. They wouldn't take Australia cheat. They have no cheating in that. That is just a fair run.
No,
I watched the game all morning.
But he never said he's out. I mean, it's clear he's out. I mean, you can. There's people talking about spirit of the game. By the way, Ozzy, do you know you didn't hear punting today, right? You listen to cricket.
No, I didn't hear punting today.
Well, because of all that with security.
I see.
They have for security. They have to. In fact, there's a
story. They hear punting at all on the air today.
Because they have withdrawn punting for protection of himself. Yeah, there's a story that came out that, and in fact, let me tell you what it says. Punting out of test TV network takes drastic move to protect Aussie. Yeah, it's emerged. Ricky Ponting will not attend. Hold on, caller. It emerged. Ricky Ponting will not attend the third test with a TV network taking drastic action over the Aussie commentary style. And then it says, Aussie TV commentators Mark Taylor and Mel Jones will have security staff with them when the third Ashes test begins on Thursday. That's today. On the same day, it was revealed that the Aussie team has called in extra security for the touring party's families. Yeah. So the whole story that came out there today. Caller. So
they were burying them.
Yeah.
So Simon, Besto said if it was he would withdraw the.
You mean no, not Besto who said that? Stokes, you mean?
No, Stokes.
Yeah, that is Stokes. Well, nothing wrong with withdrawing.
Because it was on his side. If he was on his side, he would never said that.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But the English people are very biased. Australia playing the game very tight and hard, but they have no cheating in that. That was just fair play.
Nobody ever said
there was no cheating, but
they talk about spirit of the game.
Yeah, spirit of the game. Yeah. It's like the man card out, the run out. It's out by the laws.
But Shibo, I saw Besto try to run out several times that same way.
Well, that has happened, yeah. So again, people talk about the spirit of the game. That's nobody say he wasn't out. He's clearly out. If you leave your crease and go out, you're out.
Yeah, but they tried to run out one several times, so they were not playing spirit of the game also.
Well, as I tell you, that's
The
controversial thing was the stack catch that was disallowed.
Well,
Shibo,
yes.
Plus, the stack catch was clean.
Well, the umpire gave a reason.
Yes, and his opinion, his interpretation.
Shibo, the man was off the wrong way of the catch.
Well, I'm just telling you what the umpire said.
The umpire Marius Erasmus. Yes, okay, caller, yes.
Yeah, he gave a reason.
For me, the guy was completely no.
Yeah, all right, caller. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, all right.
Good night. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought he was out. I mean,
it's our surprise.
A running catch. A catch, you either catch or you drop a catch, you know. He didn't juggle
Yeah,
or
he had
catch.
the ball, yeah,
shot.
I was a
The
bit
man
surprised.
caught the ball clean, in falling, but he landed
Touch
the
the
ball
ground, yeah.
always in his grasp.
Well, what the umpire say, he was in control of his body.
No, but
We have another caller. Good
that
night.
was
Good night.
ridiculous.
Hello?
Talk about a clear catch on the
Good
boundary.
night, caller.
No problem.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's something we have to talk about. But I saw what's his name thing. Do you remember that former umpire from Australia? He came out with something. What's his name? You remember him, Ozzy?
Well, what's his name?
Trying to remember his name at the moment. That's Simon Toffel.
Simon Toffel, one of the greatest umpires, yes.
He came out with a statement. I have it there. He said something.
He's saying the catch? He spoke?
Yeah. In fact, what he said is that, was Johnny Besto dismissal at Lords a breach of the cricket spirit of cricket? This is a question I have been inundated with, so I thought it best to share my thoughts publicly by asking everyone a question or 8 to consider. 1, have you seen any umpire tell a fielding side that the keeper standing back is not allowed to attempt a stumping? That's 1. 2, he said, was there a complaint from anyone when Besto tried to stump Manos exactly the same way in the first innings? 3, what was Johnny Besto? No, hold on. What has Johnny Besto said about his dismissal? Has he been very quiet? Why? 4, my experience is when people don't like a dismissal under the laws of cricket, they cite the spirit of cricket to support their view. And he goes on and he says, 5, which part of the coded preamble, the spirit of cricket, was breached by the fielding side? And he has a few other things here.
Well, Besto was clearly out. I mean, the ball was not dead.
You
know. Yeah, so. But I didn't like the thing myself.
I didn't like that.
I would not withdraw the appeal. Test match is a hard thing. You're playing for a country.
And that could have made a difference.
Of course it would have made a difference.
England could have won.
Yes. Yeah, so you can't, it's not a charity game, man. You have to go by the laws. It's like the what they call the man card run out. When the bowler runs out the guy at the non-striker's end and they're backing up too much. The law says if you back up too much and you remove the bail, you are out.
Well, now they changed the law to make it easier for people to run you out now.
Exactly.
By the way, Bogorai said, thank you, Lambi. I cannot only hear Sibo and Oz in Atlanta, but I can see them live in the studios. Bogorai saying
Bogorai saying that?
Yeah, Bogorai saying that. Yeah.
Bogo, I don't have my colors up, Bogorai, so.
He's saying that.
By the way, I think they buried covered William.
Yes, on Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes.
We have another caller. Good night.
Yes.
Good evening, Sibo.
Yes.
Good evening, Ozzy.
Hello, man. Good evening.
Yeah, man. Sober-minded people. Those who look at the game would clearly see Besto's mistake. The ball had just reached the keeper's hand or glove. Besto was walking out of his crease. The keeper threw the ball, run him out.
Yeah.
When you look at the laws of the cricket, Besto is at fault. There's no need for all those arguments. Besto is out. England lose the game. That's how it is. And on the game presently, don't be surprised. England does not make the score. They are 68 for free. And don't be surprised they lose the test match to her, because England have the tendency of always collapsing. On my final note, Australia is playing a much tougher game than England. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This cricket, that's why it's a test cricket Canada. It makes for compelling watching. You can sit down at your home all day and watch that. Compelling watching.
Real enthralling.
And everything, there's something exciting going on in that test match.
And the matches are competitive. They're close.
Nobody's
dominating.
First 2 test matches, the results are close.
Very close.
This one as well could be very close. Either way. So it makes for competitive.
Nobody stays in a dominant position for too long.
Yeah.
It always swings from one to the other and back to the other team.
Correct.
Both teams are really competing fiercely.
Correct.
Yes, caller?
Yeah, good night. I have a question for Simo. That's a question that's been burning. That's been on my heart, on my mind. I mean, a lot of people probably remember. It's a match he played with Matthias Walsh. when my first watch made his debut for Dominica in the Windsor Park, cricket had just transitioned from Gardens to Windsor Park against Grenada. So we were wondering, like, why did you, Matthias, you said, why did the captain say Matthias to space?
Well, I'm happy you changed it to say why the captain. And it wasn't Grenada, it was against St. Vincent.
Okay, right. And then when Murphy guy did the first ball, he was bowled. Or they cannot probably describe what happened that day.
No, it was, well, as you rightly said, what he's saying was it was the 1 over to go.
Yeah.
In fact, as he said, why did I? It wasn't me that the instructions were given that I should not face at all that over. This was the instruction given from the pavilion.
Yeah.
That in fact they didn't want me to go out with him because obviously I was the main batsman. And chasing 300, they felt that they wanted to protect me. So Matthias Walsh went and first ball, he got bowled. No, people are trying to blame me. No, like I say, Matthias Walsh, 18, 19, I remember they bought 15, nobody was protecting me at the age of 15. Right, Collar?
As a night watchman or something, no?
No, we had 1 over to bat at the end of the display.
Only 1 over left.
Yeah,
you should not send a youngster to bat.
That's what he's saying. The caller is asking the question.
No, I mean, once you're on the team,
exactly.
You can bat anywhere.
Exactly. Caller, anything else?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because we were supporters of Matthias Walsh, we're from the same area. So we were like wondering, like, why did Dominica send a night watchman instead of a man that was making his debut? It was his first game for the senior team.
Well,
that was the only over left
for the day.
Opener.
In fact, I already watch out the rest of the game.
You don't send a night watchman for an opener.
Right, that doesn't happen. Exactly.
Anyway, Steve, it was just something that has been on my mind.
Okay, no problem, man. No problem.
All right,
you fairly should protect a newcomer, a youngster. Don't send it out to bat. No, man.
Good night, another caller. Good night. Hello?
You have to show that you deserve to be on the team.
Exactly. Good night, another caller. Good night.
Yes. Hello?
Hey, Sibo, good evening to you guys.
Yes, good night.
Sibo, you answered that Cecil Joseph did contact you for being on the commentary panel.
Yeah, he did contact
me. What about Ozzy? Did they contact Ozzy?
Well, I tell you, he contacted me. I don't know.
Nobody has contacted me. Nobody.
But I subsequently found out something yesterday. That's why I'm not saying to you, caller. I'm just saying because I thought that the original thing that the West Indies board were going to contact stations. As I said,
on behalf of Dominica, Cecil Joseph, we are calling for Ozzy Lewis to be on the panel of commentators. Starting Wednesday. Okay, Cecil, I know you're listening. Ozzy Lewis must be on the commentary panel, all right? And Sibo also, did you hear that Alan Border is suffering?
Oh, yes, I wanted to say that. All that. Yes.
Yeah, he's not well at all.
Yeah, Alan Border.
Parkinson's
disease. Yes, a lung.
That's a bad illness,
yeah. Bad illness.
Yeah, yes, caller.
Yeah, and Sibo, I heard Dominica talking about cricket today, like he knows so much and he has done so much for cricket in Dominica.
Who that?
Dominica, I mean the one-man Dominica. He says, my citizens, meaning that Dominica
is a cricket commentator now.
You know there's a lot of hypocrisy around the place.
He said, my citizens. So it's a one-man Dominica. I don't know where he is talking about cricket and being bowled, England being bowled out for 46. This man, wherever he is, Dominica, you have no regard for your own Dominica. So don't come up and talk anything about cricket. You have nothing to know about cricket. All right, Sibo, I'm listening.
All right, thank you.
Once again, Cecil, we hope Ozzy is on this commentary panel starting Wednesday. It's a must and it's a compulsory request.
No, but caller, what you should also be saying, Q95 themselves should make an effort to take the cricket. That's what you should be saying as well.
Definitely. I don't know why Kimberly told you that they are not taking it. I have no answer. I don't know why, but Sheridan Guegura, you should come on to explain as to why you didn't take on the commentary. Mr. Gregor should be contacted to explain as to why
he listened to
Q95 refused.
He's listening to you.
All right, Shibo, I'm listening.
Okay, thank you, caller. Thanks for your support.
So you can answer that.
So you say Heston is in charge of the commentary?
So I'm hearing now so that's what I'm hearing now from yesterday. So I don't even know what's going on, honestly. Good night.
All right.
Yes, Sibo, Ozzy, Lambi, good evening.
Yeah,
good evening.
As Alfondin said, they have laws.
You're in and out.
If you violate the laws of it, then the adjudication umpire has to make.
You're breaking up.
breaking
now.
up. We don't hear you
we can't
clearly.
hear you clearly and fluently. You're breaking up badly.
Exactly. So as soon as I say, well, where is best to go in the playing cricket on the beach, Sakitape or something like that? I mean, you are a chess. The game is on such a cruise. You know the law of the cricket. You live in and I want to join the caller before me to tell Cecil Jones to invite Ozzy to be part of him. Ozzy is still capable and able to recruiting Ozzy. We have presently, not only in Dominica, but the rank among, should I rank him? Because I'm not seeing there are many in the Caribbean that are better than Ozzy. So we're looking forward to hear Ozzy carrying commentaries on the game.
Yeah.
Now on the stats catch, I want to disagree with Ozzy because the law say he must not only the ball, must be in control of the ball. And Stats was falling, and he used the ball to stabilize himself. That is the way I see it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And by the way, did you game with Netherlands and Scotland today?
Yeah, what's that game,
Yes,
man?
I
I
saw
watched
it,
that
yes,
game.
we saw it, yes.
That 100 from the Netherlands, a brilliant inning, honestly.
Oh yeah, but that was a
Brilliant inning.
He has become the fifth player to that score and score 100. The only thing I was wishing I deserved to be there until the end.
Yeah.
And,
It's a pity he got out a few runs away. 4 or 5 runs from the crossing the line. He got run out.
Yeah, Mohammed was saying that the Associate Nations were making a statement. They were sending a message to ICC. You have any idea why we
You break it up badly, man.
Yeah, very badly.
You can just let us know. Thank you.
Yeah, Lambi, we take a break now, Ozzy? We take our first break? Yeah. All right, thanks.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q. Sports Wrap.
Rudolph.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Yes, welcome back to Sports Wrap. It's now very close to 7 o'clock, about 8 minutes to go. And you're listening to Sports Wrap from the big station. Sibo, a certain political commentator wrote something concerning Byron's lack of ethics.
I'm interested in hearing it, really.
Yeah, and described his conduct as the epitome of infamy, notoriety, ignominy, dishonor and disgrace. I repeat, the epitome of infamy, notoriety, ignominy, dishonor and disgrace. Byron's behavior.
Well, I hope several McIntyre listen to that. Edison James, Leonard Clinton, Randy Rodney, I hope they all are listening to that. These people who want to legitimize Byron's nonsense by listening to him. Nobody should have listened to that guy. As you said, the adjective you used to describe him.
That guy serious, man. Disgraceful, man.
Disgrace to come at your age to be stooping down so low.
He's destroyed his name. He has no name. In fact, I had to get that quote about good name. And what's the Shakespeare thing is the one that said about good name.
Yeah. Read it to us. Let listeners hear.
Good name in man and woman is the immediate jewel of their soul. Your good name is your jewel of your soul. Who steals my purse steals trash. Just something. Nothing. 'Twas mine. 'Tis his. It has been slave to thousands.
Right.
But whoever steals from me my good name robs me of that which not enriches him, but makes me poor indeed.
Yes, very good quote. We have Gerald George.
I can repeat it.
Well, you'll repeat it after. Yes. Good night, Gerald George.
Good night. Good night,
well, I know you have interesting developments for us. The elections are coming up. The race is getting tighter. So maybe you can tell, Otis there, as you know, Lambi, so probably you can tell listeners about the title race first and the people in the running for the various posts in the Football Association.
Well, I have all that lined up, but I think we will start with the results of last week matches, and then we'll go through the point standings and then the games for this weekend, and we'll leave the election thing. We'll leave the best for the last. All right. So last weekend we had Premier Division League matches. We had Division 1 League matches, and the Premier Division results of last week, Friday, Petro Caribe Point Michelle versus LA Stars. Petro Caribe Point Michelle won that game 5-0. On Saturday, we had Surgical Southeast versus Connect 767. East Central at Dubla. The defending champions won that game. No, that game came down to an interesting draw, 4-4, after East Central was leading the defending champions 4-2 for the better part of the game, and they came back and equalized that 4-all. Also on Saturday, we had Valvoline United versus Bombers at Dubla. Bombers won that game 1-0. And on Sunday, we had Blue Waters Buffet State taking on Tranquility Beach Middleham United. Middleham United winning Buffet State 3-0. So that was the action we had in the Premier League last weekend. No, we also had the league leaders, Dubla, Central Cooperative Credit Union, Dubla, defeating Harlem, Promex Harlem United 3-0 at the Benjamin Park. So that was the action in the Premier League. The Division 1 League, we had Win George Academy defeating Trafalgar 9-0. We had Derby Boys and Mighty Avengers, Dewitt Center, drawing 1-1. We had Police defeating Blue Waters Buffet State 2-1. We had Naturescape and Belfast Estate Mao Soka Strikers. Mao Soka Strikers won that game 4-2. We had St. Joseph against Glanville. St. Joseph winning 2-0. We had Dennis Charles Point Michelle versus All Saints, and that game drawing 1-1. And Surgical Southeast versus LA Stars. LA Stars winning 1-0. We had 2 women games scheduled for last weekend, and that did not take place. So we'll move on to the point standing of the various divisions. In the Premier Division, Dubla continue to enjoy themselves at the top of the points table, and they even extended their lead last weekend. They are now 32 points from 13 matches. The defending champions, Surgical Southeast, on 27 from 14. Blue Water Buffalo State in third place on 26 points from 14. Tranquility Beach Middleham United, they are on 24 points from 13 matches. Petro Caribbean Point Michelle on 19 points from 14 matches. Promex Harlem United, they are now on 18 points from 14 matches. They're down to 6th place. Last weekend or the past weeks, they were holding on steady to the 5th place position. So they're down to 6th. Connect 767 is Central on 13 points from 13 matches. Bombers from Portsmouth on 13 points from 13 matches as well. And Valvoline United, they are on 10 points from 14 matches. And LA Stars at the bottom of the table on 5 points from 12 matches. Division 1 League, Group 1, DS on 9 points in first place. Point Michelle on 7 points, second place. LA Stars 6, also on 7 points. Now LA Stars were All Saints. Buffalo State on 3 points from 2 matches. Police 3 points, 2 matches. Harlem on 3 points from 3 matches. South Dominators on 0 points from 2 matches. Kensbro on 0 points from 3 matches. In Group 2, we have Naturescape leading Group 2 on 9 points from 4 matches. Mahosoka Strikers on 7 points from 4 matches. Derby Boys 7 points, 4 matches. Middleham United 6 points, 2 matches. Mighty Avengers 5 points, 3 matches. Wayne George Academy 3 points on 3 matches. Tarish United 0 points from 3 matches, and Trafalgar 0 points from 3 matches. Group 3, we have St. Joseph leading that group on 13 points from 5 matches. Exodus on 10 points from 4 matches. Bombers on 6 points from 3 matches. Dubla on 6 points from 4 matches. Kalibishi 6 points, 3 matches. Itasi United on 3 points from 4 matches. Collier on 0 points from 3 matches. And Glanville on 0 points from 4 matches. And in Group 4, LA Stars had Group 4, 9 points from 3 matches. We United on 7 points from 3 matches. East Central on 7 points from 3 matches. Southeast on 6 points from 3 matches. Wooty Blazers on 3 points from 4 matches. Marigot United on 3 points from 3 matches. RC Doctor 0 points from 2 matches, and Buster 1 on 0 points from 3 matches. The action kicked off last night in the Division 1 League. We had Dubla taking on Kalibishi Diaspora. Dubla winning that game 2-1. No football tonight. Tomorrow, Division 1, Kensbro will take on Police at Dubla at 6:30. Derby Boys will take on Tarish United at Dubla at 4 o'clock. Collier will take on Itasi United at Portsmouth at the Benjamin Park at 5 o'clock. And Marigot will take on RC Doctors at the Cassidus playing field at 4 o'clock. In the women division, we have Kalinago Warriors taking on Wooty Blazers at the Cassidus playing field at 4 p.m. And then we have Middleham United versus Mighty Avengers at the Benjamin Park at 5 p.m. In the Premier Division, Blue Waters Buffalo State will take on LA Stars tomorrow, Friday, at the Benjamin Park at 6:30 p.m. Valvoline United versus Petro Caribbean Point Michelle at Dubla on Saturday at 6 p.m. Also on Saturday, the defending champion Surgical Southeast will take on Promex Harlem United at 7 p.m. at the Benjamin Park. And on Sunday, Connect 767 is Central versus Bombers at the Benjamin Park, also at 7 p.m. So that's all the action we have. We'll go into the election carded for July 22nd. That will be a Saturday at 10 a.m. We have a number of nomination closed actually last week, Friday. So we have the list available. And I can go through it.
Yeah, please.
Various positions. For president, we have 4 candidates going up. Glenn Etienne, the incumbent, and then we have Kenneth Esprit, we have Michael Joseph, and we have Wayne George. For first vice president, we also have 4 candidates. The incumbent is Ken George, we have Sheldon Kazimi, we have Stanton Serafin, and we have Win Benjamin. For second vice president, we have
Who's Win Benjamin? Is it the singer?
From Triple K, yeah.
Oh, Triple K. Okay.
Yeah. For second vice president, we have Erickson the Gallery, and we have Yvette Laura. For treasurer, we have Dexter Ducre and John Joseph. Dexter is the incumbent. For this second vice, the Gallery is the incumbent. Assistant Secretary Treasurer Christina Sobers, the incumbent, and we have Leandra Bell Charles. Public Relations Officer Gerald Judge, the incumbent, and we have Abby Lawrence as one of the contenders. And we have, for youth officer, we have Colin Bernard, who is the incumbent. We have James Juvie, and we have Joel Hamilton. And we have quite a few persons going up for committee members. We have Bertilia Peter, we have Heinrich Ansem, who is an incumbent. We have Jason Timothy, Julius Peter. We have Kurt Christmas, who is an incumbent. And we have Martin Lockhart, also an incumbent. And then we have Marvin George and Philip Allen. So these are the nominees for the DFA election carded for July 22nd.
Good. Very interesting.
Yes. Very comprehensive as usual, Mr. George. Thank you very much.
Very interesting. Yes. By the way, before you go, when do you? I went to Stockholm this afternoon. To me, the project looks completed. When do you all intend to restart football there?
Well, first of all, the project has to be handed over to the DFA. I think sometime next week. That should be happening. I do not have a concrete date, but majority of the things, you saw the marking is there. I think they're supposed to set up the goalpost today. I did not get a chance to go there today, but they assembled the goalpost today. Also, they are going to be 2 dugouts for the substitute bench. So these things that will be permanent, they are at a permanent fixture at the stock farm, which we did not have and which we were missing very much, because every game we will have to rent tents for the substitute players and also the fourth official. So there will be dugout for the 2 sub benches and also the fourth official and so on. So these things have to be erected and things. But sometime next week, I'm being told that they should be ready to hand over the project to the Dominica Football Association.
Okay. Well, congratulations in advance, Mr. George. Thank you very much for your comprehensive report. Good night, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, good.
Also, I've just seen a message here when Mr. G say he will, not on air, yes, he will explain to me off air what is Q95's position as regards to the live coverage of the cricket.
So G will explain to you.
He'll explain to me off air what is Q95's position. I'm really interested in hearing that. So what is the position?
See, but we haven't been calling our fans for the last 4 weeks.
Go ahead, quickly. Because we have cricket, a lot of cricket.
A lot of cricket.
Yeah,
very interesting.
And remember, when we come back next week, the test match will have started, right?
That's exactly.
It will have started.
Plus, we have to really talk a bit about Alan Border. I mean, this man was the greater.
Well, we have to talk about what's in the demise now. The total demise.
Okay, before we go further, I want to give Lockhart Sebastian some flowers, because very early in the discussion about Test match coming to Dominica, Lockhart Sebastian had said that he saw West Indies not qualifying for the World Cup.
Well, I always said that Aussie West Indies would have had to get past Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, and because 2 teams can only qualify, and always felt that West Indies would have struggled to get past them. In fact, we ended up struggling against Scotland and Netherlands. And you look at the body language on the field, Aussie.
We lost to 3 teams in
Sri Lanka. Successive matches.
Yeah, we haven't played Sri Lanka yet.
We're playing tomorrow morning.
Playing Sri Lanka tomorrow.
That's our
last match.
A dead rubber that tomorrow.
Dead rubber,
But the way
we lost to Scotland.
We were
lost to Netherlands and we lost to Zimbabwe. 3 teams.
Yeah, I just felt West
Indies. And we was into associate teams. West Indies, the former champions.
And we have to be careful that West Indies cricket could be relevant, because if you're not careful, you could end up being like the associate teams.
Yeah.
So
like
you
you'll be like Papua
and
New
not only
Guinea.
that, a lot of the T20 players who feel they could go anywhere might struggle to get contracts.
Yeah.
So if they think they can play the fool and they will still get
West Indies at the crossroads.
Yeah, surely are.
Yeah. Anyway, let's quickly call our fans because it's sometimes now we haven't hailed our fans. So let's say hello to Mr. Dr. Thompson Fontaine, Clem Fingal, my good friend. I haven't seen him for some time. B.A. brother Randy Charles, good evening to you. Kent Abraham, I haven't seen this guy for some time, from Stock Farm. Cecilia Duran, Cecilia Matthew, Elsa of Viecaz, Herminus and Za Emmanuel, boys from Newtown, my neck of the woods, the great place of Newtown. And of course, Elika and Clances from Salisbury. Elika is in the Big Apple. Good evening to you, Elika. Blessings, of course, great contributor to all programs. Blessings. I've dubbed him the local Aristotle, and he continues to really make his contributions. Harper Edwards and Clinton Antwine of Focal, these guys are always listening to Sports Rap. Good evening to you all. Dr. Emmanuel Finn of Washington, the dental surgeon there, who originates from Lapland. Good evening to you, sir. Lee Robinson, good evening to you. Bolin Peter, my dear friend from Newtown, known as Berkey. Great guy from Newtown, still doing well as he goes on and on. And of course, Dr. Justice Irvin Andre, this prolific writer, author. This guy is a studying erudition.
Brilliant, man.
Brilliant guy. Solidly brilliant.
And you see him unassuming, casual. You see him cooking his dumpling at red beans at his home. And
But you have to give the guy his kudos. It's just fantastic. I'm sure he's listening. Even to you, Dr. Justice Andre. Still doing a fantastic job.
By the way, Mr. G is going to call us live to tell listeners why. As soon as we finish there, Mr. G is going to call live.
Okay, Mr.
So
G.
listeners will hear what is the position.
Why Q95 is not carrying. Yeah.
You'll call live.
Now, Elizabeth Peter, good evening to you. Good fan of ours. Dr. Vivian Moyes, all the great doctors. Dr. Hendricks Paul, illustrious doctor. This man is an illustrious man, Dr. Hendricks Paul. Bogo Roy, great boy from Newtown. And good to know that you're still listening, of course, to Sports Rap. Teresa and Dennis Polidor of Canada. Blue, and her husband, Elton, from Bath Estate. Rambo. Haven't seen this guy they called Rambo for some time. Ninja Henderson, good evening to you. Claudia and Pat Gist. Felix Leslie, my good friend from Portsmouth, who I think has been moved on a bit now. I don't think he's in his service anymore.
He's retired now.
Not very retired, but he's gone to greener pastures, maybe.
You believe the pastures are greener over there?
I think so. At least more prestigious.
Okay,
he was a guy who seemed to have been kept down a bit in his service.
Yes.
Brilliant guy. Felix
like Ronald Lander, people like that who have suffered. Yeah.
Ronald Lander, yes. Brilliant guy from Bath. Yes. And Billy Amor, guy from Hodges. Andy Carter, good evening to you. Roy James of Atlanta and Macmillan's Boys in Fokule. Dr. Dave Lloyd, I'm seeing this guy for some time. And of course, Clotilda Doctrove, the venerable mother of the Doctrove Boys. Great sports fan, Lockhart. And I think she's still 90.
99, I think. 99.
99?
99.
Oh, Mrs.
A few months short of 100.
Oh, she's close to being, what they call themselves?
Centenarians.
Obviously, Dr. has been a fantastic sports fan, you know. So good evening to you, Clotilda. Hope you are in good health. People like Vanya Shillingford. And Johnny. Johnny calls me something nice. I love to hear Johnny on the air.
His corporate relaxation.
But when he speaks so authoritatively, you know, and as fearlessly. Johnny, like, boy, I like to hear him make his contribution. So I hope he's listening right now. Johnny, good evening to you. A guy called Leslie Massicott, good evening to you. Spy King, a guy from Newtown. and ASP Wicks. How long last you saw Wicks?
Same Oliver, soon he'll be enjoying corporate relaxation as well. Soon.
He's close to retirement.
Yes, so he'll be enjoying corporate relaxation.
Great guy. Wicks, wish you all the best. Francois Barry, of course, our good friend Francois Barry. I hope you're listening.
I guess I hope he gets some free tickets to come watch cricket.
Yes.
Hope somebody makes a donation.
Yeah, like Francois Barry, yes. Thomas Louis, who is the son of the great and venerable Whitnell Louis. So, Thomas, I know you're listening. You always listen. And, of course, your father, Whitnell Louis. Mr. G. Okay, just quickly, we have to take Mr.
G on the line? Yeah, okay, well. Also, let's take him and maybe we can come back. Yeah?
Okay. Mr.
G, good night.
We can't keep you waiting. We'll hail the fans afterwards.
Mr. G, good night.
Look, how are you doing?
Well, we're good. The stage is yours because people want to know what is Q95's position. So all is yours now. Everybody's listening to you now.
Well, I did send you a message, but you said that I asked you to talk to me offline.
Well, I thought that you were saying.
Online.
Right, okay.
Yeah. No. Okay, here is the position, Sibo.
Right.
I received an email at about 6:04 this evening from Mr. Barry Wilkinson giving us an offer to do cricket.
Right.
Now, the email says, I'm talking about this evening I received that. That's the first offer I've received. It says, first and foremost, please accept our apologies for the late proposal.
Okay.
Because they only received the clearance this morning. All right. Now they sent us a proposal, but Sibo, we during the week it's difficult to carry the test matches because we have a lot of infomercials and commitments, signed contracts before. But so we can only do the weekend.
But we don't know if the match will go until the weekend. That's the problem.
Well, this is the point. And then they sent that they have only three matches they have on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. Only three from what I saw. And so what I think is happening that all of these media houses are also going to they have the right to carry that, it seems. And from what Kimberly told you, when that happens, we don't have a very good chance of getting a lot of sponsorship. And so, because you remember, the people in the sales office, that's how they make their living. So they're eager to find sponsorship for those things. But they found the last time it was very difficult. So we didn't really make anything from that. Now, this thing is not free, as you know, there is a cost.
Right.
And for us to try to do only those three on the weekends there, and then to be able to meet the cost that is being offered. I don't want to say the figure on air. It would be a little bit difficult for us to make a return on that. Now, some of the other media houses, some of them, I'm not going to name any, may have sources of funding that we don't have. So even if they may make a loss, somebody might come to their rescue and bail them out. But in our case, it is a little difficult for us, especially because all of the media houses are offered and they are able to carry. So just those 3 weekends is for the, and we're not, as you say, we're not even sure what's going to happen. So that is the difficulty we have. It's not like you don't want to do it, but the logistics look difficult. The weekdays is impossible for us for the test matches because we have a lot of commitments to clients or infomercials and ads during the week. So that is the difficulty we have. And then, of course, it only came this evening. So
only today you got the letter, you say?
This evening?
Yes, the email came in at 6.
Wow.
The email came in at 6:04 this evening. I had a voice note from somebody else that we know earlier on, but there was no proposal. The only time we got a proposal is now, this evening, at about 6:04.
Well, you know, again, Mr. G, the slackness of the West Indies board as well. They took so long. That's why I said Heston Charles called me yesterday. Only yesterday they probably came to a decision what they were going to do. So long they took. So slackness again, the West Indies board, honestly.
Yeah, because that is what Barry is saying in his email. He's saying the reason for he's apologizing for the late proposal. They only received clearance this morning. So they only received clearance from the West Indies this morning, so they could only write to me this evening. So that is really what we have there, what we're up against, Thibault.
Well, the listeners heard you. They heard you. Well, they heard you. They heard you. So there's nothing here you can do. I mean, and I say again, it's not your fault. The slackness on the West Indies, but the office, the hierarchy. Well, that's why West Indies cricket is how it is now, because of all this nonsense, really.
I mean, Thibault, we could still try, but the point is for those 3 days, we can still try, but there's a lot of uncertainty as to how well we could do and whether, in fact, those games will come off. We're not even sure. But
the game will come off. I mean, whether the test match will last the 5 days. That's what I'm saying. The game will start next week Wednesday, barring bad weather or whatever. If you have good weather, the game will start. The Indians, in fact, are coming in tomorrow.
But I'm only focusing on the T20s and the ODIs.
Okay, to carry them. Okay.
Yeah, because we can't carry those.
Okay.
And I've told them so in the past that we're not able to carry those during the week.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's okay, Mr. G. No problem. Listeners heard you. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll still make an effort to see what is possible. But we only got it today, so I couldn't even talk to my salespeople today. I only got the email about 6 o'clock this evening.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
These
G.
other matches are not being held in Dominica.
No.
T20s.
Trinidad and Guyana.
OSOs.
Thank you, Mr. G.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Yeah, take care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Get this slackness on the West Indies board.
Just to continue the list of fans, and we'll call Mr. Let us see who we. Barry, Thomas Louis, Whitney Louis, Julius Corbett. We haven't this guy for some time. Bradley Joseph, Bradley Roy, Mr. Peter Prosper, of course, up there. Good evening to you. Tyson Johnson, Gustav Williams, Ozzy Walsh, Glenn Ducray. All these guys always listen to Sports Rap. Boyo
Did you call
Seaman.
Cesar Emmanuel?
Yes, I called Za and Herminus. Famous guys from Newtown, I call them, yes. Of course, John Blanchard.
Yes.
Because John always hails us. I think John Blanchard is doing a wonderful job in his program.
All of them. They all do.
All of them, yes.
Fantastic job.
Washburn, Coffee, So they're keeping the CCM alive, Good. So people like Gilbert Williams, let us see again. We have Norman Shillingford. I'm with this guy for some time. I hope he's doing well. And let's see a few more names. Robertson Laura, my good friend. Dr. Dave Shillingford. Angelo Joseph Mann. Guy called Begaye. Bold, boys bold doing.
I need to go and see him. I have to find the way he's
Terry Pierman.
To go and see him.
In Madrid. Lister George, our friend in New York, the Big Apple. Lister George, sports fans, good friend. Sports raps, good friend, I should say. Then you have a guy called Brian Hoggy. John Lewis, my fisherman guy, always listens to this program. Then we have the Incense Man. Good evening to you, Incense Man. And let's see you again. Swinging Janice. Janice, famous former Calypsonian, doing good things in Canada. And she's a great credit. And over there, I think in Ontario, yes. Then there's the Ice Pop Lady. She is also a great fan of doing Ice Pop Lady. And Wayne Norde. Of course, the great man Ted Daly and his wife Heffy. Good evening to you, Ted Daly. I've been in touch with you for some time, and I hope you're doing well. The guy called Titus Simon, let's see, Dr. Warrell Sanford, Pastor Ivo James, Mr. and Mrs. Laurier, Albert Gabriel. I haven't seen this guy for ages, Albert Gabriel. I haven't seen him for some time, Albert. And Edin Court and Val. And we don't hear much tomorrow on the air
he called
again.
tonight.
Edin Court?
Yeah, he called. He's one of the people who called it tonight.
Okay. Good evening to you, Edin Court. And Bennett Austri, my good friend. Bennett Austri, good evening to you. And I hope you are listening, as you always do. And quite a few names there, but we'll stop here for the time being. Social Security staff, Arundel Thomas, the man from Lacu
Well, he's been following the West. He's not here now, but he's been messaging me, asking questions about the demise of West Indies. Yeah. Arundel, good night.
Loftus Duran as well. There was something last night at the PSU the Electoral
Oh,
Commission, what do they call themselves? Whoever it was.
Electoral Reform Commission.
Yeah. And this fellow Loftus the spoke.
So it was on radio live?
Live discussing. Everybody referring to the Byron report. The Byron report. When Loftus came, he said he doesn't even want to say the name.
No, he's right.
Loftus is the only one who spoke out fearless.
It's correct.
You should have listened to that.
So Severin Mackenzie was on as well?
No, I didn't Mackenzie. But people was talking about, you don't want the report. You're planning to burn the report, but you're still referring to the report. You give me the life still. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know, man.
You debunk the thing as nonsense and you throw it out. You don't refer to it. You don't give it the credibility of even reading it. But Loftus, when they want to say, he doesn't even touch this thing at all.
Well, I think he's right.
Well, he's right. Of course, he's right. Sibo.
Good night. Yeah. Well, by the way, Dordal also, you forgot Dordal.
Oh, yes, Dordal.
You can't forget Dordal. And JB down in Pottersville as well.
Yeah.
Dordal always listens. By the way, I want to say condolences to one of our strong supporters, Mr. Willard. He passed this week on the Savannah. Yeah, Mr. Willard Peter, he died earlier this week. Miller, good night to his son. I know they always listen. And a couple of his children will be coming down later in the week. So condolences to them. Sorry about that, but he was one of our strong supporters also. He always listened.
Yes.
Mr. Willard Peter and Savannah. And Alpha, Nigel Jean and Raglan Roberts as well. I mean, it's a debt we have to pay, they say. And he's gone.
Oh, yeah, that's a final debt that
Mr.
you
Willard
have.
Peter.
You cannot escape from that.
You can't escape at all. That's one thing you can't escape.
Jump high or jump low.
Try to run and hide.
Under your bed.
Under the bed. Even if your bed have pedas in it, you still cannot escape it. Pedas biting you. You can't escape. There's no way you can run and hide.
This is inevitable.
Yes, death is inevitable. I say you can run under your bed. If your mattress have all kind of peanuts and whatever and biting
It's
you.
just on the book Benton. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. And good night to Shane, my guy who washes my vehicle all the time. Good night, my brother. Good night. I know the people like Ann and Hezo and the people in the valley and all of them. We can't call because tonight we're short of time. So we have to move on.
All right, that's about it. I have exhausted most of my list.
We have to move
on. See what we can think of the...
No, let's quickly talk about the West
Indies. Yeah, finish on the West
Indies.
Well,
they play tomorrow morning. Yeah. And, I'm worried about the match here. That's why. Because, you see, West Indies not performing. People probably don't even want to go and watch the West Indies, Aussie. Because, you look at the guys on the field. And in fact, I was listening to Sportsmart, and Lance Rudiger said the information they had the day before West Indies were really eliminated. At practice, guys were, their shoulders were dropped. They didn't look like they wanted to practice. And it's really sad that a team that won the 75 and
team that
World
won
Cup,
the inaugural World Cup, the great Clive Lodge team, right? And under Richards as well, right?
In fact, Richard didn't captain. Richard was Lloyd captain. Richard made 100.
Lloyd captained again.
Richard made 100 in 79 final.
What about Lloyd? He made 100
in the 75 final.
75 final.
And Rohan Kanhai made 55.
And Kanhai.
Then got Richards and Collis King.
What
a big partnership in 79. In fact, Ozzy, on Tuesday, Viv called me and we had a long conversation. And in fact, supposed to be going to South Africa this weekend. He's doing some promotion for the ICC for the World Cup in India. And we're along, and I said to him, I wonder how does somebody like him or you feel? I asked him the question. And he said, Bullers, that's how we call each other. Bullers, he said, man, this tough, man. And when he speaks to me, like he's speaking Antigua.
Casually,
I can understand. Some people might understand him when he's speaking in real Antigua. And it hurts, as he say, when he watched the people on the field, well, as you know, Richard gave 110% of the field. The way he fielded, in fact, the first World Cup, he had 3 runouts.
I remember that very well.
Against Australia.
Yes.
He ran out Greg Chappell.
Yes.
Vivian. So he says.
And they won it by just 17 runs.
In fact, the last. You remember Thompson, that partnership, they almost won the game.
Right.
So if he was saying, he don't mind losing, but it's how you lose.
And to whom you lose, man.
And he looks at the body, look at the guys. And it hurts watching.
You cannot lose to associate teams when you've been the champion for 2 years, twice.
Dominated cricket for about 15 years straight. Yeah. And you watch people in the field.
West Indies, and you produce some of the greatest cricketers ever lived, the great Garfield Sobers, Wicks, Warren Walcott,
Brian Lara,
Richards, Khalid Charan, Garner, Croft,
Michael Holding,
and the others and the Collis King, all those guys, Lance Gibbs. Today you're reduced to associate teams beating you. I mean, that's ridiculous.
And how they beating you? Let's take the caller. Good night.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Good night, caller.
It's shameful.
Good night.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you doing?
Lobby, good night. Good night. What's up?
Cool. The problem with the link, I have just cutting up.
Well, I'm sure the technician is here in your lobby because we have no control over that. Well, apparently Lambi is saying it's at your end that the problem is. That's what he's saying.
My end.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Because 2 weeks ago, there was no interruption. I just couldn't understand that.
Oh.
So much for that. Just I heard you, Sebastian, talking about, not you, George. Election is coming up. I think for the interest of football, we need a new executive. There must be a new executive to move football forward. Since Patrick John left, our ranking we have dropped considerably.
But Lobby, from the vibe you hear, you think that will happen? From what you hear?
Well, not the vibe, Sebastian. Sebastian, remember, I only have 2.5 years I left Dominica, so I'm quite aware of the football itself.
Well, that's what I'm asking you the question. You say you're aware. That's what I'm asking you the question. From what you're hearing, do you think there's going to be a change? That's why, because look, you just confirm what I'm saying. Asking you.
Listen to me, not hearing. Well, yes, I've been in discussion with footballers, people who have served football, and they're not happy. They're just not happy what they're saying. We are losing at all levels, the male, female, junior, senior, intermediate, we have not been doing well. The programs are very, very poor. Monies have been wasted. FIFA money is not being spent properly. So you need an overhaul. You need this, I will say so boldly, this Point Michel thing you have there, look, this Point Michel gang you have there.
Dude, what do you call them, the Point Michel gang? They hear you, no, look,
yes,
they hear you. They hear you.
They can hear me. Listen to me. We talk about the government. We can talk about any association. That's how it is. I am disappointed, Sebastian. As a player, from a coach, I've done a lot for football.
Well, the footballers, they're the ones to decide that. I mean, how many teams? How the votes are? I don't know how the football thing works out. How is it? 1 vote per team or club? How does it go?
2 votes. I think it's 2 votes.
2 votes.
Yes. I think, first of all, there are too many guys going up for president. There should be just 1-on-1.
I'm finding that myself. It's 4 guys. Why would you have 4 people?
4 guys.
Yeah. They'll only split the votes.
There's something there. That's why. There's something there behind the curtain. There's some a big jar behind the curtain.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead, Lobby, sorry.
but gentlemen, Sebastian, look, you're looking at, we are in 2023 right now. Look at the time Glenn has been in office. See, look, I was hoping by that time, look, what FIFA has, the money they have gotten from FIFA, they say they have programs. Not one player we have close home in the American League. We haven't had at all. We have to say they have players going and playing.
Do you see the personnel to replace the present people who are the incumbents? Do you see personnel to replace them?
The personnel will come from the club. The same way Glenn came from Point Michel. Yeah, you have the president can come from the club.
Well, they have an election coming up. They must put their names forward and let's face
You need a change. You need
new
hands. The same way we need new hands. You need a change to move the football forward. I am not satisfied at all.
I hope the elections free and fair still. The elections are free and fair.
Well, in Dominica, elections never live free and fair in Dominica for sure.
Are the Football Association elections free and fair or not? It's free and fair.
The last election, what I heard, it was a sham.
Oh, I see.
Just a sham.
Okay. So you think there's a club?
I heard you're talking about West Indies. Sebastian did name West Indies and also gave a joke a while ago about the young boy, you know.
The young boy said West Indies, they're not beating anybody, so he wants to go and live with them.
No, it is, I didn't say, look, where, also you keep on talking about the past players.
The great players.
The past players, you know. We have to look at what made us so great. The standard, our league, the regional tournament itself, one of the highest at the time in the world. All right? From all the islands, the Windward, the Leeward, Grenada, Trinidad, Barbados.
I mean, the Shell Shield was a top class. I mean, you hear Barbados playing Guyana in those days, Ozzy.
Yeah,
scores of 6-something and 5-something. Yeah,
when you got the Barbados playing in those days,
yeah.
Barbados was the greatest, apart from Test cricket, the greatest team ever. You know,
in fact,
Barbados,
I think they could beat Test team.
Yes,
the combination they had could have beaten a lot of Test teams.
Speaking of New South Wales, Barbados, Surrey, and Yorkshire, these were the great entities outside Test teams. When you had Barbados playing, even a touring team, man,
they were strong enough to beat a lot of Test teams. The Barbados team in those days, for sure.
When the Barbados team came here, Empire team, a fellow called Don Wicks.
I heard about that guy.
People said he hadn't made the Barbados team yet, and he was the best thing we ever saw. A fellow called Don Wicks. Anyhow, I strayed a little bit. Go ahead.
Look, we keep on talking about the batsmen. We mustn't forget, you know.
Fast bowlers.
If we scored 10, we would bowl the team for 6 runs. And we took our catches.
Yeah.
We took some. We got guys that could field.
No, we haven't got the cricketers again. We just haven't got them at all again. In my mind, the guys I see playing for respective teams in the Caribbean, even their stature, you see them. They are looking like they're going to beat the world, do they? No, man, these guys got little kids.
Look.
Even their physical stature.
It's true.
The stature alone. Yeah?
They look very
they're tiny, puny guys. Boy, you know that, Lobby. You know that you're a big, powerful guy, bodybuilder. You know these guys are not even athletes.
I'm telling you, listen to me, Ozzy. Look, you know what I've heard a lot. You look at what happened. Look at Marshall. Marshall went to where? To South Africa. Greenwich to Bangladesh. Did we utilize our past players properly?
Good point. Good point.
Did we use them? We told Ambrose go and get certified. Certified what?
Well, he is now. He surely is. Surely, in fact, he's coming in. He'll be in Dominica on Sunday. He told me he's coming in on Sunday. Part of the TV commentary team. Spoke to him yesterday. He'll be on Sunday.
Cricket commentary? The man should be cricket commentary what?
Well, I'm just telling you, he'll be in Dominica as part of the TV commentary panel.
The man should be, look, he should be the bowling coach. Ambrose should have a big role to play in developing our fast bowlers. It's ridiculous what I'm saying there. Guys, we have guys there, they can. But it's just enough. That is why we score 374. That's unheard of.
Well, you're right. To score 370 and lose is something
374 is 26 runs short of 400. You know, you have to think of that by an associate team who missed 8 of the top players. So they were playing with a 4th division team. Do you know 8 of the Holland team were not available?
Well, I know that, but in fact, here this was
8 of them.
It will be interesting now to see what the selectors of Holland are going to do. Here it is that
8 of them
they've qualified now.
Yes.
A lot of them stayed and played country cricket. The selectors for Netherlands going now to pick them and leave out the people who have gotten them to the World Cup.
Exactly.
It will be interesting to find out
the team for the World Cup.
Now. Yeah. Because 8 of the guys that decided to stay in England,
8 of them, almost a whole team.
They've now qualified. What are the the selectors and the coaches going to do
to
now?
me, that's remarkable, you know. An associate team with 8, not 5 or 6, 8 of them not available for the tournament. And yet, they dominated the tournament. They scored almost 400 runs. They beat West Indies badly.
Also, by the way, did you see this guy The guy from Holland, Scotland, who made that 100. That guy looks a very good player.
Yeah, he scored 5 wickets too.
And he scored 100 today.
Yes,
Second 100.
Leddy or something.
No, not Leddy. The one for, I'll give you his name. The one for Scotland.
Scotland.
The number 3 batsman. That guy, he looks like a class act.
Oh, and McMullen.
McMullen.
Oh, McMullen is class,
looks like
man.
Class act. The way he hits the ball over the top.
McMullen.
He looked a class
And he's a good pace bowler. This
that,
man is ready for Test cricket.
This guy looked like one of the best bats in the entire thing.
You're quite right. McMullen.
Looked like class.
That's number 3. Yeah. He bowls fast medium. He's a world beater.
But, gentlemen, Sebastian, let us look at the West Indies team presently. Tell me a fast bowler you have there, a bowler you can rely on to give you 4 or 5 balls on the off stump consistently.
For instance, Ruby, there's a fella called Christopher Soule.
A
fast bowler from Scotland. This guy's only bowled at 150 miles per hour.
He's quick.
You see the guy bowl?
He's quick.
Sheer pair, like a Brett Lee. We have nobody so in the Caribbean.
Zimbabwe, he really.
Yeah. He ran from Zimbabwe.
Top order.
Yeah.
Knocking back stumps and everything. The top batter.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Irvin and Williams.
Christopher Lee.
He's quick.
He ran, boy, he's very quick.
He's quick.
Young, fast bowler. That's what we want
in the
Caribbean.
And that's what West Indies needs. But we don't have it out here. You look around, we're going to be struggling. And in all fairness, in world cricket over the last 5 to 10 years, there's hardly been fast bowling.
Yes,
we saw Mark Wood today. Really fast.
Mark Wood today was sensational. Mark Wood
he demolished the tail.
He had speed. He had control.
Everything you can think.
He had movement. He was metronomic in his accuracy.
He had the Aussie batsman on the back foot. Really on the back foot.
Fast like lightning.
In fact,
guys
were not getting behind the
96 miles per hour with about 162 Ks, They were comparing with like Thompson.
Gentlemen, is there going to be attention given to the wickets right now in the Caribbean? This is something that we look at.
Well, the West Indies board has a curator who goes around, that was in Crafton. He was here 2 weeks ago for about 3 days. He was here in Dominica.
Before we have Sabina Park on Kensington Oval, there were wickets with pace,
And not only that, you'll be sure. When you went to Jamaica, when I played,
Jamaica, Sabina Park,
you see
shining.
The whole square shining. You get to Barbados, the pitches are hard
and
as
that
stone.
first hour, man, pace like fire.
But the only thing, the bunk was even.
Yeah.
So you didn't mind batting.
And runs would come too.
Runs would come because if you have even bunk, no matter how fast the pitch is, you're better off than when some are keeping low and some coming towards the head. Yeah.
But see, but before you forget, Mark Wood's performance was fantastic.
No, he demolished all the fellas that didn't get in there.
Just since, faster than Tyson, famous Tyson.
When they say after Jeff Thompson. In 1978.
Yeah.
In fact, that afternoon, I don't think
anybody. You speak about that fast bowling episode from Tyson.
I'm all from Thompson.
Yeah.
Every time I speak, that afternoon,
Tomo.
I have never seen anybody bowl faster.
They were talking about it.
Richard comes in without helmet. I saw him hit Thompson overhead over the stand. Few people could have done that. Jeff Thompson, destroyer.
Yeah. But Mark Wood was out of this world.
In fact, earlier you didn't see Labouche was hardly getting in behind. He didn't have a clue.
Labouche looked like nothing, man.
He didn't have a clue, I tell you.
He's ranked world's #1 batsman.
Well, he's struggling.
Labouche is struggling.
Oh, yeah. Gentlemen.
Struggling, yes.
Sebastian.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're hearing you.
I was reading something from Holding, who was very much surprised at the excessive use of short pitch delivery from both sides. He was shocked.
Oh, yes.
Very, very shocked.
No, well, what he called it, he called
it
Mickey Mouse bowling. That's what Mikey said.
Mickey Mouse bowling.
No, when he said that, he's comparing that kind of pace with his days then. He said that people were bowling at 70 miles per hour and say the bowling that cannot frighten batsmen.
Lodge?
Yeah, that's what you said, 70, 80 miles. But Mikey and them, they was 90 miles, and the Roberts, Mike.
Yeah.
And they would easily bowl at 90
I think it was overdone at Lodge.
Yeah, too many short
balls.
Him today.
Yeah.
You had a lot of short balls as well.
98% at one time was just short balls, you know,
And again,
at rods.
again, it shows you the difference now and then.
Yeah.
In Richards's days, he would welcome that.
He
would
punish those things.
Punish those things. But now you see men ducking. A man bowling and men ducking right all over the place. But in those days, batsmen wanted that sort of thing. They would attack it.
That thing was reminiscent of the bodyline toy.
In fact, you remember Sunil Gavaskar, the young Sunil Gavaskar,
Yes,
without helmets, punishing the West Indies bowlers. Sunil Gavaskar, and that was real pace.
But what we saw at Lord's was a bodyline toy match, man.
Shot,
The famous bodyline toy in England in 72, in 20.
They just to go back, the caller asked you about Dominica and St. Vincent and that last offer, but he failed to give you some praises the way you handled that fast bowler from St. Vincent.
Davis. Winston.
And Sidney Murphy. It was Sidney Murphy who bowled that over the day, really. And you know, as I say that, you remember Jojo Destroyer? Right. You remember him, right, Ozzy? Jojo Destroyer. So that same afternoon, so when that happened, you know, the crowd went sent he was in the dressing room. And then I don't know how this guy got in the dressing room and Ozzy, I almost knocked out that guy. And honestly, the guy finds himself in the dressing room, the whole team is there discussing. Man, I took a battle and they had to get serious, you know.
He come to admonish you.
Yes, how he ended up in the dressing room, the security, I don't know how he ended up there. Jojo, where is that guy, by the way?
Jojo Solomon.
Jojo Destroyer. You don't remember him, Ozzy? Jojo Destroyer.
No, not too sure.
You know him, man. Of course you know. Jojo Destroyer. Lobby, what you said?
I think he's dead, you know. He's dead.
He's
dead.
Jojo, what a fella, a troublesome fella, Ozzy. When he's sport, he's going all about
very
troublesome brother.
Right.
Yeah, Jojo Destroyer. Let's call him.
Yeah, we have to take a break now, Lobby.
Lobby, we have to take a break.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll be on the home stretch. You are listening to Sports Wrap. We're taking another break. When we come back, the final 15 minutes on the home stretch.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth. Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Yes, welcome back to Sports Wrap. We only have about 13 or 14 minutes left in the program, and I think we have a caller. Yes, caller, welcome to Sports Wrap. Hello? Person is not too.
Hello? Person got cold feet.
Disappeared. But see, the cricket open, the qualifying matches, that was a high standard.
Very high standard.
I thought, generally speaking, it was a very high standard.
I thought good batting.
And I was surprised that the associate teams have some class players.
Even Oman has a nice batsman.
Where is Oman? I want to see a world map.
Yeah, you're right.
Where is it?
Somewhere in Asia, wherever it is. Oman.
Somewhere in Asia?
Yeah, somewhere there. Oman. Good night.
Oman.
Good night.
Yes, Ozzy.
Sir.
Yes, Ozzy. Just a short order.
I didn't call. Yes, hello.
West Indies to qualify. But so Simple Jojo is dead. He died about 2 years ago.
You serious? In Dominica?
Yes, his name was Augustus Griffith.
Right, Griffith.
Young Picky Boom had the same name and surname.
Oh, so you probably know him, man. You know Jojo, man.
Yes, his wife was married to a police officer.
Correct.
Right.
So he was in Dominica all the time?
No, they were in the US.
Okay.
Yeah, his family in the US.
Okay.
Yes, Jeff Thompson. You know, before Greenwich had seen Jeff Thompson. Yeah. So it was this and this. You know, his only face deliveries and the chicken protecting.
You're breaking up, we can hardly hear you.
Clearly.
We can't hear you clearly. You're breaking up, doctor.
That's St. Valley now.
St. Valley, yes. Yeah.
We're not hearing you at all.
Are you hearing me better?
Better, much better.
Much better.
Okay, and the
that's good.
The hurtful thing about West Indies not qualifying is that we were knocked. First of all, we had to play among associate teams, and then we were knocked out by the associate teams. I used to identify Holland with names like Clivert and Zedov, world-class footballers.
Mm-hmm.
Now a football team, a football nation, knock us out, 374 runs, and they further humiliated us by scoring 30 runs in the Super Over.
In the Super Over, man, that was fantastic,
Every single delivery hit
Went to the boundary, 6 or 4. Every ball,
I don't think anybody ever did that before.
Why, that is something else, man.
The
guy's name is Logan. Van Beek.
He has Trinidad roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time that's been done, and then that's the highest Super Over score.
Yes.
There's a guy, as you mentioned him,
Soul, Christopher Soul.
Between 148 and 152, that guy was bowling.
I was like a Brett Lee. They compared to Brett Lee of Australia.
Yeah, man.
But hear this,
Great.
What was even shocking? Okay,
Sandval, any more of the point? He said, okay.
Here's the captain after West Indies were humiliated after they got knocked out. We cannot come here and expect to be an elite team without preparation. Captain Shea Hope after West Indies failed to qualify. No,
without preparation.
No, that is what the captain is saying. The captain, after the shambolic performance by the West Indies, is saying that that's an indictment on who was he?
On the team,
and the management and the coaching staff.
Backroom staff.
He says that we cannot come here without preparation. No, that is a damning statement, that the captain of the team
serious indictment
after the shambolic performance, the West Indies cannot qualify. They have embarrassed how many people in the Caribbean? 5 million? They have embarrassed 5 million people playing the fool on the field.
Sobers listens to that. Sobers.
In fact, I saw
Garfield Sobers.
In fact, yesterday I saw Sobers.
Oh gosh, man.
Virat Kohli taking a picture with Sobers at the Kensington Oval. Yeah, they played at the in fact, he's looking a bit frail now.
He's
looking
going
very
on now.
frail now. I can see it yesterday. He and Virat Kohli. Kohli took a picture of him.
He's very frail now.
Very frail. I saw it yesterday. Because Indians played a 2-day game.
Yeah, a practice game.
We have another caller. Good night.
Have they named the West Indies team yet?
No,
not
they'll
yet.
be Dominican Sunday.
4 days for the cricket,
Not 4 days. It's next Wednesday, Barry. So it's more than 4 days. How it can be 4 days?
You have Saturday.
Today's
Saturday,
today's
Sunday,
Thursday.
Monday,
I
Tuesday.
think tomorrow's already here. You have
It's four days. 4
They're
days.
coming in on Sunday afternoon.
No tickets. You bring a ticket.
Well,
already yet, man.
Well,
They won't play Dominica.
well, you're right. I just find the first time I've seen that up to now the tickets have.
I find everything is low keyed. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no expectancy in the air. There's nothing.
No, and I want you also to go in the commentary panel. Remember also between me and you, I told you about that.
Yes.
Two of you commentating in the match. Two of you all, you and him.
He and myself, we went through for every tour in the West Indies from 950 to the present time. We were calling different tours.
The Indians have them both their test team and their one day teams, you know.
Yeah.
Well, they pick a lot of young guys for the T20. A lot of young guys.
You were practicing in Barbados in the week there.
They're coming in tomorrow. They're coming
here tomorrow, right? So
they have a charter flight tomorrow.
Well, Barry, nobody has contacted me for commentary yet, you know. So.
But talking about West Indian Pacers, whenever the fastest fellas ever graced the playing fields, that's Roy Gilchrist. Holding
Also, did you see Gilchrist play?
I never saw him. No.
Roy
Gilchrist,
he played in Indian Pakistan.
Yeah, but I did not see him play. He asked if I saw him play.
Roy Gilchrist.
Well, he was very fast.
I heard so.
And he would not be smiling to his opponent, you know. I see Stack coming back. Stack has got the killer instinct.
And he's laughing, smiling.
Stack is laughing all the time.
I never saw Andy Roberts smile.
No.
Even in the nets when he would practice.
How about Frank Mason?
Andy Roberts.
Frank
Mason.
I
I saw Andy Roberts hit plenty people.
Yeah.
Now, when Andy Roberts hit you, he would walk back to his mark. He never hit, and all he has the ball is waiting. Andy Roberts, and he knocked down a lot of
cool,
people.
quiet fella like Andy.
He never drank a beer in his life.
He looked like
He's still now. Never drunk a beer, never drunk wine, nothing like that in the entire life.
Like a saint.
Saint Andy Roberts.
My friend Stack is bowling, hitting up and he's laughing, smiling. I can be a fast bowler.
And he's laughing at the batsman, you know.
Yes.
The last person you want to be. Because batsmen sometimes try to engage the bowler.
Yes,
when they're under pressure. You
soften
tense.
you up.
So you smile with the bowler.
Yeah.
In fact, what you should do when the batsman, you turn your head. You shouldn't be engaging the batsman at all.
I mean, a fellow called Frank Mason, a great fast bowler of St. Vincent. Mr. would smile, you're joking, man. Mr. could be his grandmother batting.
Well, West Indies are playing tomorrow morning at 3 o'clock. Oh, Barry, I know it.
Barry, you still
morning
on?
At 3. West Indies are playing tomorrow.
Barry, are you still on?
No, he's gone. Probably.
Barry's gone, man.
Yeah. We have another caller. Good night. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, good night.
Good night.
Good evening, yes.
Yeah, just a little geography. You wanted to get the location where Oman.
Where is Oman?
Yeah, Oman, they are located basically in North Africa, next to the United Arab Emirates.
Okay, next to the
across
UAE.
from them is Pakistan.
They're close to Pakistan?
Is across the water.
Okay. So,
but that's in North Africa.
Okay.
They're an Arab state.
Arab state, North Africa, you said. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, but see, boy, you see MASH.
Another caller. MASH, I always like MASH. Good night.
Sibo, you were saying that the Indians played a two-day game
today.
In Barbados yesterday?
Yesterday and today, yeah.
Oh, boy, so why didn't they come down to play at the Benjamin's Park? And where are they going to live, Sibo? Under this reconstructed hotel?
No, they're going to stay. What's the name of it now? Intercontinental in Portsmouth. That's where they're going to be staying. Formerly the Kepinski.
13 miles from Roseau.
Yes. Say that again, caller.
Are they going to drive from Portsmouth to Roseau every day?
Well, I spoke about that last week.
Imagine that.
I said, I hope the Indians know in advance, because in a one-day game, you can do that, but in a test match every day, to drive up and down is going to be tough. Boy. Well,
Sibo, I expect the media following them might have a lot to say about this.
Yeah, boy.
Because that's a long drive.
30 odd miles.
They're not afraid to express themselves when they see something going really wrong their way, no matter where they play. Remember, they control cricket across the world. So.
Yeah.
Well, they're the ICC.
We might hear a lot of them. We might hear a lot.
But
about
teams
this
normally
Dominica.
stay on the ground, though, just a few yards from the
there.
ground.
No, that's tough to drive over an hour every morning.
As
And
impractical.
go back every evening. Even to come to practice is a problem. To drive up
It's
to
a
those-
long and circuitous road, you know. You're joking.
on a bus again.
Oh.
On a bus, you're coming up. It's tough. In fact,
To
at the
get
end
to a
of the
cricket
day's
ground.
play, you'll be tired driving down. By
And
the
to-
time you get down, all you want is to go to bed. They wouldn't even need dinner, some of them. They'll be tired. Yeah, the caller left. It's
Yes,
tough.
caller. But just a word on MASH. You believe Cameron Green could have done what
No,
MASH
but
did?
I always felt Mash has been hard done by.
Of course.
He's a very good player.
Michel MASH.
In terms of hooks and cut and
Boy,
pull,
nobody can bat like
horizontal
Mr.
bad
Man.
shots.
Yeah.
There are not many people are better than him.
No.
Let's say the
MASH
caller.
had the bowling like not a little joke.
Good
Even
night.
Wood went for 6, you know.
No, MASH get back.
Michel MASH. When
Good
it's
night.
going, boy, it's fantastic.
Hello?
Yes, Sibo. And Ozzy, just some scores, West Indies women and Ireland playing the second T20.
Yes.
Yeah, the Ireland scored 117 and West Indies is 95 for 2. Eddie Matthews, the captain, got absentee.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, they should win
thank
this T20 series. It's T20.
Ireland has impressed
No,
me
in
at all.
fact, Ireland is West Indies is 9, Ireland is 10, in
Yes.
the women. 9th and 10th,
Yeah,
Ireland
yeah,
and
yeah,
West
yeah,
Indies.
yeah.
By the way, Ozzy, Andy Murray is leading 2-1, and they're continuing tomorrow.
Andy Murray has
Won the
60
third
pass
set.
going away.
Yeah, well,
But look at crowd, boy, at Wimbledon.
Well, they're continuing tomorrow. 2-1.
And his mother's there watching him, Andy Murray's mother.
We have another caller. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Lewis, Sibo, and Lambi. Good evening, everybody.
Good night, sir.
Hi, good evening. Make it, you haven't much time, though.
I listen to Mr. GD, and I have a problem. You mean to tell me that all throughout the year, Dominicans listening to these private enterprise and their ads, we're buying in their things. You mean to tell me for 5 days, you can get time to add at lunchtime, at tea time, when there are breaks, you can do your ads. They cannot allow or forego that thing in the name of cricket so that the young people can enjoy themselves. They may even spend more money. They may buy more stuff in the stores, more beers, more whatever they're selling. I mean, this is disgraceful. We have to talk to the private sector that they have withdrawn from activity in the community other than their infomercials to sell and make money. My God, what happened to the community? If you don't have a community, if you don't have people to buy,
That's
what
right.
happens? This is disgraceful, and I think somebody, somewhere, should approach these people and say, after all, for 5 days, you cannot sacrifice. You will still get your ad. You may not get 2 hours, but you will get your ad come in at tea time, lunchtime, whatever break. They always have ads between breaks.
All right, okay, caller, we're out of time, though. We're running out of time. We only have about a minute left, so you can wind up for us. Yes, you make it a strong, very strong point. Yes.
Thank you. I think what we should do, Dominicans, we should boycott the private sector until they learn to respect us. Good night.
Very good, good, thank you. But going back on the Mitchell Marsh position, had Cameron Green been fit, Mitchell Marsh would not have played for Australia.
No, but it's been interesting now to know if he's fit for the first test. What do
How
they
you gonna
do?
Yeah.
What do they do now?
I mean, Cameron Green, I've never believed in him. He has potential.
Well, they believe in him, though.
But
They have
I
high
know
hopes.
Michel Marsh. I've seen this guy go. This guy can destroy an attack as he did today. You know, he remind me of to Viv Richards at his best.
The way he hooks and
And
pulls,
Garfield Sobers. And also a Val Dominican called Val Felix in his heyday. How Felix is a bat.
He's a good
Yeah,
bat.
you've never
footballer.
seen Felix
I
bat?
No, I didn't know him.
I
don't
wish
know.
I had a
Never
video
seen
to
him in
show
my
you.
life.
Val
Never
Felix.
heard, never seen him in my life.
Up
Heard of
right,
him,
man.
never saw him.
Banging the ball.
Well, we have to close up also now. Next week will be the test match. It will be the second day of the test match next week.
Now, the test match today, Australia scored 263.
And England
They lost their last 6 wickets for 23 runs.
Well, Wood terrorized them.
Wood, yes.
Terrorized them.
Australia were 240 for 4.
Terrorized them.
240 for 4 and 263 all out. They lost their last 6 wickets for 23. How they have fought back, and England.
In fact, this test series,
England was 65 for 3. So the match is evenly poised.
Compelling watching. It's good cricket to watch. Night, and West Indies are playing at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning against Sri Lanka.
Right.
Yeah.
But this Ashes series has been one of the toughest Ashes series I've seen.
Good cricket to watch.
I want to tell people who are asking me why you call it the Ashes. We are going to do that next time.
Because you don't have time now.
We don't have time. Yeah, the early Ashes earn when they burn stumps.
Then call the women into the Ashes.
Yes. I will just talk how it became known as the Ashes, the significance of the Ashes. Next time, I'll just spend 5 minutes on that because we have no more time. It's already 8 o'clock. Thanks for listening, Sports Wrap fans. So the test match, just to repeat, West Indies against India will be on the Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Don't forget that. So get your tickets. Next Wednesday, 10 o'clock, test match, West Indies against India. So until next Thursday, of the Lewis, on behalf of Lucas Sebastian, Lambert Charles, our man at the console, saying good evening and welcome again for another week. Bye-bye.